How's it going, everybody? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Friday, January 19th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are having a great week. This is the moment we've been all fucking waiting for. I mean, we've been talking about it for so long, and we made it. So, the sun is finally at 29 degrees of Capricorn, along with Pluto. The conjunction won't be exact today, and it will happen as we go into Saturday morning. It'll be exact. But this is the portal that is opening for us to walk into the new world. You know, so we can't forget, as much excitement as in anticipation as we've seen in the astrology community about Pluto leaving Capricorn after 14, 15 long years here, coming into Aquarius. Like, it's not over. We still got to deal with Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn one more time. And for most of 2024, we're going to have Pluto and Aquarius. And then once we get into fall, going into 2025, then Pluto will move back into Aquarius after Pluto's retrograde, and we'll be in for good. So this is the second dip in the pool of Pluto and Aquarius that we're getting. And the moon conjuncting Uranus today, as Uranus is stationed, it's pretty much at a dead fucking stop. I'm just feeling so intense right now. I've been feeling this build up all week. It's exciting. It's transformative. I'm feeling so many closings and new beginnings all happening at once. And I've never really seen this play out in my lifetime. This is the first Pluto transit in my adult life that I'm really conscious of Pluto going through a whole sign, coming into a new sign. Like when Pluto was in Sagittarius, and you know, when Pluto came into Capricorn in 2008, you know, I was a teenager still. So, you know, I was studying astrology, but I was not consciously aware. So this is the first experience of this, and it is this massive closing of a chapter, and I feel that so many things in my personal life are completing and ending, but also at the same time, so many new things are starting and coming in, and it's like everything all at once, endings and beginnings all at once. Like, that's how I feel, like, personally, and I feel you guys could probably relate to that as well. So the moon making this conjunction with Uranus today, I think is super exciting and interesting and a little weird and awkward at the same time, with Venus actually fully squaring Neptune today. There's definitely, Venus is getting activated in a exciting way, but also in a very strange way. And very many unexpected things are really starting to come out of nowhere, and also reminding us not to get lost in our own subconscious stuff. I went into this a lot yesterday. It's happening exact today, but with the moon conjunct Uranus, as Uranus is stationed, totally stopped, getting ready to come direct here in just 8 days, January 26th and 7th. Uranus is going to come direct. So when Uranus comes direct, we always see it every single time Uranus comes direct or Uranus is changing signs. It's always those 0 degree points of Uranus coming into a new sign and stationing to go direct is when the most unexpected, sudden shit happens. Like, we just saw a volcano in Iceland explode, and now people are having to evacuate and leave their homes. Like, this is very Uranus. Uranus rules earthquakes and volcanoes and crazy weather, and, you know, so we're going to see more of that. And I mean, there's a lot of really wild information coming out as well. Like, this new disease X, what the hell is this? Like, we don't even know what it is. It's like something's hidden, something's buried here. And with Pluto and the sun at 29, like, there's definitely a lot of things that are bubbling up as things are ending and getting ready to step into this new chapter. And definitely this weekend, this is kind of kicking off this domino effect of like some really, really crazy stuff starting to force change. That's what Pluto does. Pluto forces evolution. Uranus likes to experiment and create some kind of shock value to see what's going to happen on an experimental level, just to, like, you know, it's like a chemist or an alchemist, like, hey, let me just put these two things together and see what happens. You know, so with Pluto and the sun here and the moon and Uranus together, like, there's a lot of like crazy wild stuff that's just going to start unraveling. And we've already felt it. We've seen the buildup. We've been feeling it really come closer and closer and closer each day. And Venus squaring Uranus, it's like, wow, you know, it's really easy to just fucking check out, right? And just say, you know what, I don't even want to deal with reality right now. I'm just going to go fucking have a drink and whatever. Like, we don't want to be falling into that trap, because it is a trap. Venus square Neptune is like a trap, like a Venus fly trap, you know, and you don't want to get swallowed by the sea, basically. You know, you want to stay on your mission, stay on your path, and keep discovering new things. I mean, there's so many new, exciting things coming into our lives now, and it's going to always come from the most unexpected places, and it's going to take us into unexpected territory. You know, I'm pretty sure Mars is still out of bounds here. Let's check. Let's see if Mars is still out of bounds. Mars is still out of bounds. This declination, 23 degrees south. So it's close. I mean, it's going to come back in bounds here soon, but it's still out of bounds. So we're still like experiencing so many unexpected things and new territory, new land, new ways of experiencing things. And with this Moon Uranus conjunction too, it's like it wants us to shake out of our kind of Taurus comfort zones and try new things and be willing to try new things. Just make sure it's not of like some fucking chaotic upheaval, because there is a lot of chaotic upheaval that's going to be happening as we move into Aquarius season and Pluto moves on here. Like, you know, so we want to embrace the change, embrace, you know, the excitement, but also embrace the chaos, you know, because the order will follow here. You know, Mars is definitely plowing through in fucking Capricorn, saying we need order, we need structure. But Uranus in this transition into Aquarius season with Pluto moving in, you know, all together, 0 degrees Aquarius, it's like there's chaos happening, and Mars and Mercury are laying out a foundation to really bring in some order here, you know, but this is going to be a domino effect of wild shit happening. So we want to ride that current and be detached at the same time, you know, in a very Aquarian, Uranian way. So what's exciting at the same time is all of the crazy shit starting to happen. You know, we don't want to get lost in Neptune land. Mercury and Jupiter are finally making their final trine here with Mercury and Capricorn to Jupiter and Taurus. So this is the last time Mercury and Capricorn is going to trine Uranus and Taurus until 12 years from now. We won't see this happen for another 12 years. So we want to utilize this, and we've already put the seeds in place. Like, we've already planted the seeds. We've already put it all in place. The first time Mercury trine Jupiter, it was direct. It came direct, trine Jupiter, but Jupiter was retrograde, so we weren't quite aware of what was going on. Mercury went direct at 8 degrees, retrograded back, trine Jupiter again, with Jupiter still retrograde. Mercury and Jupiter go retrograde on the 31st and the 1st of the new year. And here we are, the final trine. So this has been playing out very slowly. And things were very confusing during that time. All through December with Mercury square Neptune. And maybe we didn't realize, going through the chaos and going through the confusion and the fog of Mercury squaring Neptune, it's like we were really laying out a solid ground, and I think on a psychological level, this is definitely a place where, this is deep seeds that were planted long ago. It could have been planted, back when Pluto was first starting to move into Capricorn, because we got to remember it was 2011 when the last time Jupiter was in Taurus. So to me, this feels like is like Mercury and Jupiter really coming together and starting to reveal some results that were planted long ago, things that were forgotten about, and wherever that's at in your chart, it's different for everybody and what this, very awesome aspect is. So this is the last time we're going to see this for another 12 years. But the thing is in 2011, Pluto is in Capricorn, Mercury is in Capricorn, trining Jupiter. The next time we have Mercury trine Jupiter and Taurus, Mercury in Capricorn trining Jupiter and Taurus, Pluto's going to be in Aquarius. And Jupiter will square Pluto. So we're not going to see this ever again in our lifetime. So this is a very long-term situation and very long-term things that are now becoming conscious that you may have planted long ago, and when Uranus comes direct, we're going to start seeing things really move and really shift and come out of nowhere, and there's going to be chaos all around us and whatever. Like, we want to stay on the course. We want to stay grounded, stay focused. This is where our beliefs really start to expand and become more conscious and be willing to speak about our beliefs in a very powerful way, in a very structured way, in a very Capricorn way, almost like a fucking priest or a preacher, but definitely with Venus square Neptune and this positive energy to Jupiter. We don't want to be forcing our beliefs onto people, and we want to definitely be in a place where we're accepting and allowing new beliefs to come in from other people and conversations that we're having with others. So, and this is going to be a big thing coming into Pluto in Aquarius and the Sun in Aquarius, and eventually Mars, Mercury, and Venus are going to come into Aquarius. It's going to be a lot of different types of people making new connections and starting to really form new relationships and new ways of connecting and coming together. And this is really going to kick that into gear. Like we saw that last year in 2023 when Pluto first came into Aquarius. Like we saw people come together and stand against governments and force governments to make changes. Like we did see that. And we're also seeing that now in Germany with the whole farmers situation. And, we had the trucker situation. I mean, in Canada, which, that was a while ago, but still, it's like we're going to see a lot of that where people are going to say, hey, like if we actually do just get together and hold our ground and stick to our beliefs and our values and not let this Pluto Capricorn power structure system like totally dictate every aspect of our lives, like, then we could start really helping each other create new communities that we can rely on outside of this Pluto Capricorn matrix, so to say. So, and at the same time, like as we've been going through a lot of this, all these positive Capricorn aspects that have been making over to Jupiter over the past few weeks, Saturn's been right there, sextiling Jupiter, sextiling all these planets. When the sun was there, Mars made a sextile to Saturn while trining Jupiter. Mercury made a sextile to Saturn while trining Jupiter. Saturn's still here outside the physical, I mean, it's Saturn, so we can see Saturn. It's physical, but it's in Pisces. So it's like, it is like testing our limits spiritually, testing our faith. And this is, this positive energy that we're getting from Mercury to, to Jupiter, this final trine. Like, this is also like coming from a spiritual place. And whatever kind of benefic energy we're expanding upon and that is coming into our lives, it's coming from a spiritual place. It's coming from that Pisces, Neptunian spiritual frequency. As long as we're not falling into the fucking, the weird shit. Because Venus square Neptune, a lot of weird shit can happen, and a lot of confusion about ourselves can come up. I said a lot of this yesterday, but this is all starting to really make sense now as Mercury's making this trine to Jupiter, in our minds. Things are starting to really make sense. We're starting to really make the connections. And here in 2 days, Mercury's going to be out of shadow. Finally. The Sun and Pluto are going to be in Aquarius. The Moon is conjuncting Uranus today. I mean, there's so many new connections being made. And it's like new neural pathways that have been dormant or have resisted connecting are going to start connecting. And definitely, if you're falling into the Venus square Neptune trap, you're really going to put the brakes on to what that kind of manifestation can come through for you. We don't want to be fucking drinking ourselves to death and just going out and, breaking up with your girlfriend just to go be with somebody else or whatever, cheating on whoever. Like, this is Venus square Neptune. Like, shit can get real sloppy and messy. And with Saturn there, it's like testing us. It's like, are you going to fall into the sloppiness? Are you going to fall into the illusion of what things is just for your temporary happiness? Or are you going to be in Mars, Mercury, Sun, Pluto, Capricorn with Jupiter and Taurus and Uranus and Taurus and stay for the long term and do things for the long term goal and stay on the mission and stay true to your values and beliefs and what really truly matters in life for a higher purpose that is really bigger than yourself as an individual. That's what the last 3 signs of the zodiac to me are. Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. It's like, what is a bigger purpose for you on a structural level, on a mental level, and on a spiritual level? Capricorn, Aquarius, Uranus. I mean, all those things. What is outside of you that is bigger and more important than you? And what are you putting in with your soul's work and your purpose that is bigger than you, and that's going to serve others and serve the collective? That's what these moments are about. The North Node is in Aries, Chiron's in Aries. Yeah, sure. Like, there's a lot of individual aspects about ourselves and issues and wounds and feeling debilitated, in our egos. It's like, yeah, sure, there's a lot of that coming up. But this is the moment where we got to put our own bullshit aside and do the right thing for the larger whole, the larger system, whether it's the system of your family or the system of your business or the system of our society and our civilization, and our connection to source and the divine and the outer realms of what we can't see. Like, this is such a powerful, big moment coming in here. I mean, we're walking through a big portal here. The sun is at the last degree. So by the time we come into the morning, Saturday morning, Pluto and the sun are going to be in Aquarius. They're going to be at 0 degrees. And like I said, this isn't the last time. This is the second dip. We've already had one dip last February and March. This is the second dip, but this one's important and more potent and powerful because the sun and Pluto are moving into Aquarius at 0 degrees at the same time, within a matter of minutes and hours, depending on where you're at in the world. We haven't seen that in hundreds of years. A very long time. But not even in this way. So, there is a very rare moment. You know, if you're having children at this time, these are very rare people. I mean, this is a really extreme moment and a beautiful moment, but also it's going to be one that we're never going to forget. There's things that are going to happen. And we already can see that. This isn't just something random is going to happen. Like, none of this is random. This is all fated and destined, and we all feel it. We all know it. You know, this is Capricorn. It is about fate, and it is about destiny, and our destiny as a collective, and our fate and our destiny as individuals. Whatever you believe, whether you are of all free will or you believe in fate and destiny, you know, I feel like there's a healthy balance of both here. I feel like that's what I've experienced. You know, you feel and hear the voice within you of a calling, but you have to act and make the right decisions and take each proper step and listen to your voice within, that God within, or your instincts or your intuition or whatever. There's so many freaking names for it. You can call it whatever you want. But, you know, we do have a purpose as a whole and as individuals. But that's where Saturn in Pisces is really starting to test us, is not falling into the illusion and falling into just, you know, a total mess. You know, falling into patterns and loops and bad habits and just very Pisces. We want to stay on that spiritual vibration. Saturn rewards, and Saturn and Neptune are going to conjunct at 0 degrees of Aries. They're not going to conjunct in Pisces, even though they're in the same sign right now. And so this weekend coming in, it's like a portal that we're going to walk through. We can already feel it. I mean, there's so many things that are happening. You know, you have to talk about everything. It's just like, the beginning of 2024 has not been any short of strange and exciting, and also I told you so, like, kind of vibe, right? Like, you can honestly say back in 2008, where the collective was on a level of conscious awareness towards what we call the Matrix now. Like, Matrix has like become like a term at the dinner table now. Like, before it was just a movie. Now it's like a defined term. More than I would ever have thought. It's really strange. Like, even saying it's like, wow, I can't believe I'm like using it in that sort of way. It's weird. But, you know, back in 2008, I don't think people had the conscious awareness of what this, you know, system is. You know, people now are more aware than ever. And it took some serious fucking trauma and craziness to shake people out of their sleep, you know. And there still are people asleep, you know. There's still people driving around with their mask on in their car while they're by themselves, right? Sorry if that offended anybody watching this, but, you know, it's like, there's more awareness than ever, and that excites me. That really excites me. You know, we're seeing people come together and actually not be afraid to use their voice. There are people with power and money who are on the stage of the world saying the most radical stuff that people have been saying for decades, and people call them crazy. And it's like, now it's like we actually have, like, you know, a larger voice for those people who have been shunned, right? From the most unexpected people. I'm not going to go into like all that right now, but it's like, wow. And this is just the beginning. You know, we've had this build up, and it's just the precursor. You know, once we move in to the weekend, it's going to be like, I mean, there's not many aspects planetary wise happening through the weekend. Like on Friday, today, like there's a lot happening. Venus squaring Neptune, Mercury making this last trine to Jupiter with Saturn and sextile to Mercury and Jupiter, the moon conjunct Uranus before Uranus goes to, I mean, there's a lot happening all at once. So the weekend, there's not much happening other than the sun, Pluto moving into Aquarius together. So it is like this fucking thing we're stepping into. And that is the main focus. You know, it's like we're walking into a new dimension. We're walking through a black hole and to the other side. And it's exciting, and we have no idea what the fuck it's going to look like. We can only base that off the things that have come up over the past few weeks. And there's been so much. There's been so much. I wish I had more time. And maybe, you know, we can do more content and do more videos about that kind of shit, you know, outside of just doing these daily horoscopes. I definitely would love to get more into that kind of shit. But, you know, somebody asked me in the comments from yesterday's horoscope, like, hey, pull a tarot card. And it's like, I used to pull tarot cards in my first horoscopes. And then when I came back, it's like, you know, I didn't really feel called to do it. So before I hit record on the video here, I pulled a card, and I pulled the Seven of Cups. And this is my favorite deck. This is the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck, right? So with the Seven of Cups here, there are words. And this says debauchery. To me, this is very Venus square Neptune. It's like we don't want to be falling into the debauchery of just fucking making weird, crazy, radical decisions that are outside our own boundaries and crossing our boundaries and crossing other people's boundaries and falling into just wanting to escape reality and falling into the mess. We don't want to be doing that. You know, there's a Venus symbol right here. I don't know. My light's really bright. Here we go. There's Venus. This is very Venus square Neptune. Pure debauchery. We don't want to fall into that shit. You know, as we move into this, like, we want to be able to allow, you know, this Mercury ready to come out of shadow, making this awesome trine to Jupiter, to give us the information we need right now as we move into new territory. Mars is out of bounds, so it's like we are treading new territory, big time. And we'll never be here again. We'll never see this again. We'll never see Mercury trine Jupiter 3 times in Capricorn while Pluto and the Sun are both conjunct in Capricorn at 29 degrees, then moving on into 0 degrees square. Like, we'll never see that. There's a lot of important information that's going to be coming through to us. We want to keep our channels open and not be falling into debauchery. And there's going to be a lot of information coming out in the world. I really feel kicking off this week and going into next week. There already has been the past few weeks as we've been experiencing this build up here. But yeah, we want to stay slow and steady and move with gratitude. Ultimately, with this moon in Taurus, you know, it's like it's exalted. So we want to maintain that gratitude and allow this Taurus manifestation of this Jupiter and Taurus. I mean, Jupiter and Taurus are going to meet at 21, or Jupiter and Uranus are going to conjunct at 21 degrees, which is pretty close to where Uranus is coming direct here. So we want to allow this to come in, and we got to keep it clean, you know. But at the same time, it's like, on this Venus square Neptune side of things, it's like we might be coming into contact with people who are lost in that and maybe need some guidance and need some help to get on the path. You know, not everybody can be there. And that's why I love astrology. It really reflects that kind of insight, you know, and there's many forms and many ways to speak the language, but ultimately, for me, that's what it helps reflect is, you know, all possibilities And when I say all possibilities, I mean all, dark and light. So there might be people in our path who need to hear a good word with this Venus square Neptune as we're making this massive launch through this portal, because some people aren't going to be able to handle it, and get lost in Venus square Neptune and just say, I can't deal with this shit. I can't deal with all these fucking aliens. I can't deal with Stephen Hawking's midgets. So many people are gonna be checking out at this time, and fucking I swear, I don't want to judge anybody, but anyway, with the Sun, Pluto, and Capricorn, it's heavy. It's heavy. It's a very dense, thick, heavy energy, and with Mars too in its exaltation and the Moon in exaltation, there's this positivity, and this big manifestation activating, but it's dense, it's thick, and it's heavy. And I was driving to the studio this morning, and I saw 2 separate people within a matter of minutes walking their dogs as I was driving. And this woman was walking her dog, and the dog was walking behind her, wasn't on a leash. And it was old. It was an old dog. It was a very small dog. It was really, really, really old. And it was walking so slow. And I just thought, wow, this is very Capricorn. It's that old man on a crutch. I've been through some shit. I've learned a lot, and I'm here to it's like the Hermit. It reminded me of that, the Hermit card. And it was very just old, creaky skeleton. And then within less than a minute, I swear it was on the next block, and this woman was walking her dog, and she was almost pulling her dog. And it was old. You could just see how old this dog was. And I was wow, 2 in a row. And it was just a message of how dense this Capricorn energy is. It's so thick, and we're feeling the gravity, It's Saturn, it's lead, it's heavy. And it was just kind of that. And these are the kinds of flashes of insight as well that Mercury coming out of shadow can really give you if you're paying attention to your surroundings and your environment. That's Mercury. It's your environment, what's right in front of you. And if you're paying attention and your intuition is connected to that, you'll get signs everywhere. That apply to you and apply to the entire energy as a whole. And yeah, that thing this morning with the dogs, it was just wow, that's how dense and thick this is right now. And also reflecting how much we've been through. It's just been we've seen enough. We've seen a lot through this Pluto and Capricorn. So anyway, I'm going to stop there. I'll see you all tomorrow, and thank you so much for sharing this space with me. I appreciate it. This is always a treat to share the astrology. It helps me learn more as well. Just to talk about it. Before doing these horoscopes, it's just in your head. It's just in my head. So it's nice to have a channel to share that with people, and also give your information as well. Lay out your opinions on the astrology as well. And, I'd love to have a conversation about that. So subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Share this video. Go to the description of this video. All the links to all my platforms, Instagram, Spotify. These horoscopes are on Spotify. You can book a reading on my website. All the links are in the description below. Leave a comment, say what's up. I appreciate that very much. And I will see you all for the portal, the ultimate portal. Peace out.